Hi, everybody.
Hi.
This is Al.
And Susie.
And so today I want to announce the formation of the new Al and Susie channel. Or show, yes. Yes.
Hey.
So, anyway, you all probably know who I am. You know, Blue Oyster Cult fans and stuff. You've been following me for 6 seasons now. This is my 7th season of Most Cowbell. So, on this particular episode, we're going to introduce the Al and Susie show. And so, like I say, you know me, but you don't know Susie. So, we're going to try and rectify that right now. Want to tell the people how we met?
Sure. I met Al in San Diego when I was about 16 or 17 years old. I think I met you in 76, the more I think about it. Mm-hmm. But I kissed you in 77 when a couple of my girlfriends wanted some autographs, and I planted a big kiss on his lips and disappeared.
Yep, she ran away. And I was like, oh, that was cool.
It was weird.
I took an immediate, not just a liking, but a fascination with this person. You know, she seemed like unusual, different from all the other girls. We saw each other through the late 70s. In 81, I left the band, so I didn't see her for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. When I was doing Imaginos in 1983, that summer, I had to go to L.A. to record Robbie Krieger. Robbie Krieger had said that he wanted to play lead guitar on the record. So I went to L.A. and I had him do like 5 or 6 songs, leads for them on the record. And we spent almost a week in L.A. And at that point, I called Susie up and said, hey, you want to go out? I'm up here in L.A., you know, we could go out and have some dinner. And
so I got off of work.
Yep.
And came out and visited him, and it was around that time that I was talking to Sandy Pearlman, and I had met Sandy years before, and he nicknamed me Susie the Bomb Builder because I worked for General Dynamics at the time as a key punch operator. It's a long time ago. And he called me Susie the Bomb Builder because General Dynamics made the Tomahawk cruise missiles.
So anyway, so Susie was around for the very beginning of the Imaginos recording project, and then we went to California, and I played these 5 or 6 gigs, you know, Pedro and all these other places. The last gig was in L.A., and so I called Susie up and I said, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. And, she came and said, well,
I was done with rock and roll, didn't want anything to do with it. The lifestyle almost killed me because I had no control over my behaviors. I'll be honest about that. But I told Albert, you should go back to your wife and give it a shot, and I'll see you later.
You know, I did what Susie said. She was giving me advice back then, and you know, and the thing is that we weren't together anymore. I would call her up, you know, for that year, 1985, I called her up a few times, you know, from a payphone or something. How are you doing? Oh, I'm good. How are you? I'm good. You know, I still love you. Well, thanks, Al.
Oh, makes me feel like a big deal.
Yeah, she was like, okay, well, that's very nice. So anyway, by the end of 85, you know, we didn't really communicate. And of course, there was another reason.
Well, I went ahead and got married and had children and just tried to move on with my life as best as I could. But anyway, we didn't talk for years and years. And I decided to go to college when I was 47. And this is 30 years after I met you.
Yeah.
I went back to college. Well, I went to college and got a bachelor's degree in social work, and just his email popped up on my computer, and I said, oh, I'm gonna email Al. And I sent him to the video of my graduation and just told him that I graduated, and he sent me an email, really nice email, saying that he had after he'd left rock and roll, he'd gotten into public service, which was teaching, and was enjoying it a lot. And it was a very polite letter. I didn't think much about it, you know. And then we didn't talk again up until last April, when I get this message on Facebook out of the blue saying, "Is this Susie Loraine? Used to be Susie Hall." Anyway, so we started talking, and we were talking every day. And I'm at this point I have my master's degree, and I'm working in hospice, helping families and families of dying people, which is just a wonderful job, and I loved it with all my heart. So in July, I said, I'm going to come visit you. And I took a couple of days off of work, and I flew out to New York, and we had a great time.
Yeah.
Really great.
Yeah.
And then I went back to Phoenix, and my company informed me they were closing their doors as of that day. So I didn't have a job anymore. And I knew Al was just about to go to Europe with his brother Joe, with the Bouchard brothers. And I called Al and I told him I didn't have a job anymore. And he says, well, why don't you just go on tour with us? So I flew back to New York, and a week later we were in Scotland. And we did Scotland, England, and France for 3.5 weeks. And it was wonderful.
Yeah.
It just...
Fantastic tour. The fans were great. You know, the music was fun.
I really enjoyed meeting all you fans out there. You guys made the trip very special. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And it brought back everything that I loved about rock and roll. You know, I don't partake in the stuff that was killing me back in the day. And it's just a whole new universe to do music in a healthy way.
Right. So in July, when she came for those 4 days, you know, and she was in the shower, she was taking a shower, and I heard her singing. I'm like, wow, your singing voice is really, you have a really sweet sounding singing voice. It's really quite touching. And she said, oh, well, I just like to sing in the shower and stuff. And just like that, you know.
I've done karaoke a couple of times.
Yeah,
and
and she's done some spoken word stuff. But so I said, well, you know, we had a day before we went. It was literally the day before we went to Europe. And I said, hey, I've got a song. I need some harmony on it. You want to help me? And she said, okay. She sang the song, and the harmony, it was a very simple harmony, very easy. But towards the end of the song, the chorus repeats over and over, and I kind of start jazzing it up, you know, and improvising, you know, and these kind of, I don't know what you call that kind of making a syllable into 5 notes or something. I started doing that stuff, and she started singing the harmony exactly to it without any discussion, without even hearing it before. She just sang right along with it. She read what I was doing, and she just imitated it in a harmony, though. So that's a whole different trick. And so I was I was blown away. I was like, wow, how, you know. And then, of course, I started asking you, you know, about your family, and because when we went out before in 83, 84, I didn't know anything about her family, or I didn't know I thought she had some siblings, but I didn't know who they were. I didn't know what her parents' names were, or what they did. So you want to tell us a little bit about your early life and your folks and your grandparents?
Well, my grandmother was a violinist who came over from Hungary, and she was a concert violinist, but she couldn't get job and work in that, so she worked in vaudeville in the carnivals that traveled all around. And my father was a musician. He was a pianist and clarinet player, and in World War II he had a big band that traveled through Morocco, Egypt, around that part of the world during World War II. My mother, who would sing with my dad.
She also played the piano.
Oh,
right?
she played the piano and the organ. Yeah, she was really good. And then my oldest brother was a concert pianist who turned to rock and roll back in the 60s. So I come from a long line of musicians. I think they were so tired with teaching my brother. The rest of us kids never really learned an instrument after that. I just sang. That was my instrument. And I'd never been recorded before, so all of this kind of freaked me out. Getting more comfortable as time goes on.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, she's singing on 14 songs on the new record. We did a couple songs that first day, and then, when we came back from Europe, we did a couple more, and then I took my Airstream and did a tour all around the United States, visiting my friends and my relatives. And Susie came with me, and we ended up visiting some of her friends, too.
My friend Flagey in Kentucky.
Yeah. So it was really a great fun time. And we did a lot of video, and we said, we've had so much video, we should make like a travelogue. So I think that's what we're going to do, with the Al and Susie show. Although we might get on here and talk about odd things about people and
Old days in rock and roll.
old rock and roll stories. Oh yeah, we got stories. So
We got stories.
anyway, so thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Be sure to check out Susie's channel. I'll put a link to it in the description below. So that because the Al and Susie show is going to be on her channel. My channel will be season 7. So anyway, here we are again. Great to see you guys.
Take care.
Please comment questions. Let us have it. We'd love to answer anything you want to ask. Okay, if it's appropriate, we'll answer. Anyway, so see you next week.
Nice meeting you all.